this recording is about the lesson that says comparing travel cost benefits. So these are kind of word problems that have you looking at different pieces. So we'll start out with the first example. How much less money does a round-trip plane ticket from New York to London cost someone when they go with a charter group rather than a regular economy class? Now this particular problem, some of these have charts to go with them, or they will have you refer to a chart that is in the actual lesson. So remember to look those up. In this case, because they're talking about comparing a regular economy class and a charter group, this does come from one of those tables. And so one of the things that we see is that it says how much less money. So when we see less money, that means we're going to subtract. And so we see that a regular economy class on the chart says $440.80 for that plane ticket. The charter group is $331. And so we subtract, and you're welcome to do this by hand, or you can use a calculator, either way. And so we get $109.80. So by going with the charter group, you're able to save $109.80. Next example, what is the percentage increase in average miles flown per hour over the years listed? So it says 1976, and in 1976 it was 372 miles that were flown per hour, and in 1966 it was 301 miles per hour flown. So how do we find the percentage increase? So we need to look at the difference between these two numbers. So 372 minus 301. Need to find the difference between the two. But then we divide it by the original number. So notice 1966 came before 1976. So this becomes our denominator, our base, because it says percentage increase. So we want to know how much has it increased over that period. So 372 minus 301 is 71 over 301, and then we actually want to divide that. And it gives us a decimal. We get 0.23588. But remember, it says percentage increase, so we need to change this to a percent. So that means that we move the decimal 2 spaces over, and we rewrite that 23.5 or 23.6 if we round. And so we want to round this to the nearest whole, so it's 24%. So there was a 24% increase over these years. Next example, the range of typical total prices for an American tourist traveling on the European continent is $20.70 to $25. What is the average price? So someone is touring Europe from America, and it says the range of prices goes from $20.70 to $25. What is the average price? So to find the average price, we add these two together, and we divide by how many numbers we have there, and that will tell us what the average price is. So we know the range is between those two numbers, but what's the average? So 20.70 plus 25 is 45.70, and we want to divide that by 2, and we get 22.85. So the average price for a tourist is going to be $22.85. Next example, a U.S. citizen returns to the States declaring the following items at the customs office: 3 shirts, at $8.50 each. 2 dresses at $27.50 each. 1 pair of gold cufflinks at $17.50 per pair. If he has not used his duty-free exemption yet, how much duty should he pay? Now again, this one uses the chart that's in the actual assignment, but what happens is that when it says it has not used his duty-free exemption yet, each person actually gets to bring so much items worth a total amount back without having to pay a customs fee. And so when we add up everything that this person has bought, you know, there's 3 shirts times $8.50. That's $25.50. There was the 2 dresses at $27.50. And so that's $55. And then a pair of gold cufflinks at $17.50 per pair. He bought 1 pair, so $17.50. If we add up the total amount of money that this person spent, is $98. Now, if we look at the chart that they give in the lesson, it says that a person's allowed to spend up to $100, so it cannot exceed $100. So because $98 is less than $100, this person actually owes customs $0. Now, had this person actually spent over $100 or already used his duty-free tax, then we would look at the chart and see what each item is. So in this case, when you look at the chart for shirts, it says 25% of the cost. So in the shirts, he spent $25.50. So we would have to take the $25.50 and times that by 0.25, because that's the same as 25%. And that is 6.375. And again, this is money. We can round it or we can leave it, either way. So we would do the same thing for dresses. We would look at the chart under dresses, and that says that that's 21% of the cost. And so they spent $55 on dresses times 0.21. Oops. And so that's $11.55. And then the cuff, there's not an actual cufflinks, but it says gold if you bring gold back. And that's 24% of the cost. And so $17.50 times 0.24 gives you $4.20. And so we would have to add those all up. And so adding those up, the 6.375 plus the 11.55 plus the 4.20, and so if this person actually had to pay the customs, that comes to $22.125 or $22.13 is what this person would owe customs. So that's the end of this video. Now you need to call, text, or Skype message me in order to for me to ask you a couple questions about this recording and get credit for it. Have a great day.